So welcome everyone to our SUMERNET network meeting 2024. This meeting is a regular actually meeting for our network and could be the opportunity for you as a network members to be updated on our network activities, development within the network, and also going forward to the future. We would like also to get your insights about how we can make our network better for the future. So that's why we really appreciate your being here on behalf of the SUMERNET Secretariat and SUMERNET Steering Committee. We have several members of our SUMERNET Steering Committee here present with us in person. So we will get to know them more, and then we hope also to get to know you better. So for the first session, I would like to invite Dr. Chantana Wankeo to give our SSC chair to give opening remarks to this network meeting. Go ahead, Achan.
Thank you, August. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to Bangkok, those who are on site, to ACI office and Chulalongkorn University. And for those who are online, welcome to the cyber world. I think we are congregate today for a very important reason. Is a really critical time for our network. We are approaching to the completion of SUMERNET for all, and there's a lot to really capture of what we have done in the past and what is the implication. At the same time, a critical conjunction that we are embarking towards a new phase of SUMERNET, SUMERNET Plus. And I think that in the next phase or so, we will still rely on a very strong research network. This morning, I've heard from Dr. Shiyanit that our funder and reviewer sees SUMERNET as one of the prominent research networks in the region. And I would like to congratulate that. I think all the participants here online and here, or more or less like 60 people, that for you're making an effort to take part in a very important moment of our network. I think doing research is quite common, but to do it together and to really combine our collective effort to make a critical mass, to voice our concerns in the linkage between science and policy, and also a very critical issue of the region, water insecurity. And the next phase, we will be moving on to a bigger issue, that overarching issue that determined a lot of our living community and living economy, that is climate change. So I think trying to net is one thing, but work is also very important. This coming in the next couple of days, there will be a lot of activities, a number of activities, network meeting, partnership meeting, and also the MTT, as well as some workshop on training. I would like to draw your attention that this is a rare opportunity, and all the network members are very critical to the healthy living organism of the research network. I would like to invite you to be actively engaged in all this activity, even though online, but we have arranged for you to be visible online and to hear your voice. I hope that this very short afternoon session will get us closer together into the activities that we have done so far, and to hear your aspiration, what SUMERNET to come in the future would be like. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Achan, for your encouraging words. And I hope that we can use this platform to share our ideas and insights for the better network in the future, as Achan mentioned. So I'm going to start the next session, which is introduction for our participants. So I would like first maybe to call on our SSC in the room to open their mic one by one, and then please introduce yourself. Maybe if you are representing organization, please also share the organization, but also which country are you representing and which group of members you are representing, for example. So maybe we can start with Achan Chantana, and then we just go around the room. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I'm Chantana Wankao. I'm a retired professor from Faculty of Political Science, and I'm taking a role as the acting first, acting chair. Now I'm a chair at the end of the SUMERNET Phase 4. My work related to sustainability transition, and something that is you're not really familiar with is the peace building. But I think that when it comes to peace building, you have to make peace with the nature. Otherwise, humanity would not survive. Thank you.
Next, maybe Dr. Park Dae.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone in the room, but also everyone online. I'm Park Dae. I'm the co-chair of the SUMERNET. I work as the forest governance expert for the European Forest Institute. So my area of specialty is very much on agriculture and forestry, but in the context of trade. Thank you.
Okay. So good afternoon here and there online. My name is Nida. I am from Royal University of Phnom Penh, Cambodia. I am here as the SSC members. In terms of the profession, I'm a lecturer at the Royal University of Phnom Penh. I think that's it. Yeah.
You, Dr. Nida. So maybe Madam Long.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Châu Thị Minh Long. I'm from Vietnam. I work for the Coffee Center and Research and Technology Exchange for belong to WASI, the Western Highland Agriculture and Forestry Institute, based in the Central Highland of Vietnam. I'm a SSC member, and my work is really related to the water conservation for agriculture sector. Thank you very much, and hope that we will have a good discussion this afternoon. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Lai Lai, and I'm retired SCI staff. And I am very familiar with the SUMERNET, but with the new development, I wanted to learn more. And I work on the rural sanitation issues in China, and wanted to join this meeting and to get some inspirations from all of you. Thank you very much. I hope I get good results as I expected.
Hello, everyone. I'm Yan Leong. I'm one of SSC member and also secretary for MFPB, Myanmar Fruit, Flower, and Vegetable Producer and Exporter Association. Our association have over 40,000 members around the nation. So please contact me if you want to do any research project in Myanmar. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lam Noi from Southern Institute of Water Research based in Ho Chi Minh City. We are working under Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development of Vietnam. I am the SSC member, and I do my role like the co-chair of SSC member. I'm very happy to be here to introduce our job in our work. At SIGWA is the water resource management focused on climate change risk assessment and adaptation for water sector, focused on agriculture development issue and also water supply for rural area. Today, I'm very happy to be here and I would like to say thank you all of you to participate in the SUMERNET for own meeting today, and I hope that we will have a very successful meeting. Thank you.
Achan Pumi.
Good afternoon again. For this kind of the networking forum. I am Pumisai Sihara. Actually, I working at the Faculty of Engineering, Environmental Engineering Department. I am contributing as the co-chair as well to support the SUMERNET. My main work at the Faculty of Engineering, I work and research in terms of the climate change and adaptation. Yes, thank you. Very happy to see everyone.
Hello everyone, my name is Boripat. I'm based at the Unit for Social and Environmental Research, or also known as USER, at Chiang Mai University. In SUMERNET, I'm part of the steering committee representing young professionals. I'm also involved in the SUMERNET Young Professionals core team as well. In terms of research interests, a lot of my past work has included topics such as climate adaptation, and I also have an ongoing interest in the looking at the processes of innovations. Currently, my project that I'm working at USER is on nature-based solutions in the aquaculture sector. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have Achan Kitima, sorry.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kitima Lilatana Wisud. I'm the urban planner. Now I'm working with Thammasat University as the researcher. And now we set up the research center for the math model and make decision making. And we are now preparing for 2 projects about the flood warning system in Bang Ban, Ayutthaya, and the effect of the sea level rising in Bang Khun Thien in Bangkok. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Achan. I wonder if there is any SSC online. I saw Tan. Maybe Tan can open the camera and introduce yourself, please.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, nice to meet you in this meeting for this networking. My name is Phan Thanh Thanh. I am a young representative of SSC member. I used to work as a fellow under SUMERNET in 2012. 2021, and I also working with Cambodian organization MVI in a research project under NTT about the climate change adaptation in Cambodia. And my current work is focused on natural resource management, right to access natural resource from the human right approach. And also, I also want to expand my network to researchers and community in Cambodia, Laos, and Thailand to conduct further research in the future, and not only about water, but natural resource, and also focus more on the community level in the future. Thank you very much. And also, I also working collaborate with SYP to further develop the collaboration between Vietnam and other Mekong country to organize several events focused with young professional engagement. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tang. Do we have anybody from the SSC in the online? If not, then I will invite also our strongest supporter. Maybe Niall can introduce yourself.
I'm the second strongest supporter after Janice. I think it's fair. But no, just a pleasure to join here. We've had a very interesting morning as well with the steering committee, and it's great to see so many people online just trying to figure out more about what SUMERNET is doing, how it's delivering, and what we can do in the future. So very, very eager to hear your inputs. So welcome on board, everybody.
Thank you, Niall. So I would like to invite on behalf of the Secretariat. We cannot introduce everyone in the Secretariat, but maybe we can be represented by Dr. Chayanis. Please, Dr. Chayanis.
Good afternoon, everyone, and all network members. And my name is Chayanit Gitta Suthachiwa. I have a privilege to work as a program director of the SUMERNET. And I would say SUMERNET would not be the SUMERNET as of now. We have more than 600 network members without everyone's contribution. And I want to express my sincere gratitude to everyone here present in this meeting, and also those who will review the recorded video, that your contribution really big matters to the growth, to the operation, and to the success of the network as a SUMERNET. And in here, so we have a big team here, steering committee who were elected through the open election process. So they are representing the network members. And we have the Secretariat team here. So we have more than 10 members contributing to different roles. Maybe it would be challenge to take time to introduce everyone, but I would say we are here to support everyone. And at the same time, we are here to learn from everyone as well. So looking forward to our discussions in coming hours and also in coming days during the learning forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Chayanis. Right now we have introduced ourselves, and I see that you have also introduced yourself in the chat, but probably not all of the participants here in person can see that. So maybe I can invite you to join our audience engagement platform, Vivox. I will share you my screen so you can see. So if you see my screen right now, you can join two ways. One is through vivox.app. So just type it into your browser, vivox.app, and enter the session ID 114373168, or just point your mobile device to this QR code. So please join so we can get to know you better. Okay. So, okay, so I will run the first poll. So we will run this introduction through polls so that we know your profile and your, your specific information. So first poll, where are you joining from today? So if you can mark the location of your, where you are joining from in the map, just put a pin on the map. You don't have to be like really exact, like, geographical information. We just, approximate. Okay, so I think mostly from the Mekong region, but one is from China, I think. Right, is it China? So I think that's great. We have SSC representing China here. So I think that's great to see the network member from China joining this meeting. Okay, we can still receive your pins in the, on the map. Okay, so I will continue to the next to the next question. Which country is your nationality? So please, we would like to know actually, the composition of our participants today. Usually the most active one is from Vietnam, but we will see today whether we still have that kind of record or. Okay. Wow, yes, confirmed. Still Vietnam, yeah. But we have China also. That's really very encouraging, I think, for us. That's really great. So I'll move on to the next. So how young are you? So you just want to see, who's, what's the composition in terms of age? '35 and above, but we have a strong young and youth professional here. So I think that's really very encouraging. I have one question which I forget to include, which is gender. I didn't include gender here. So that's my mistake. Okay, so we just also would like to know what is your aspiration today? What do you expect to learn from this meeting? So could you please, indicate what would be the most learning that you look forward for today? I think this is a text-based, so just we understand that maybe you need to take some time to think. Yes, you see the word cloud forming. Most of your expectation is to enhance your networking. I see there's a lot of aspiration for future of SUMERNET, which is very good. So we know that we will have your insights in this meeting. Great. Okay, so let's move on to the last question to get to know you. In maximum 2 words, what is your vision for SUMERNET? So we just would like to know if you have an idea of, when you picture SUMERNET in the future, what would you want to see in SUMERNET? Two words. I see science policy, sustainability, capacity building, really strong. Regional influence, this is really what we are trying to achieve. Okay, thank you very much. So I think we know you, we know your aspiration, and let's start discussing our future in this meeting. But for the next session, I would like to maybe update you first on the state of our network. So in the next session, I will be also assisted by Buanong Latuli, who will cover about SUMERNET young professional. But first, maybe we will also get updates about the network that we are in. So in this presentation, I would just like to go through some slides that share with you some of the recent development in our network, and so that you are informed of what our network is focusing on, what is our what would be the recent development in terms of network members and governance. So I would like first to share about the network membership and diversity, and then governance of our network, because I understand that many of our participants joining today are new members. So maybe it's very useful to know about the governance of our network. Strengthening regional ownership, what do we do to strengthen your role in and your ownership to the network? And then we'll share about the SUMERNET Young Professional. So in terms of network membership and diversity, in terms of growth, we have a really exponential growth, I would say, since 2020 until 2024. Right now, my list has 765 members. And in terms of nationality, in diversity, so you see that we still have Vietnam, Thailand dominating the network membership. But we have also quite a strong presence from the outside of the Mekong countries. So that also means that there are a lot of, so our region is very dynamic and attracting a lot of interest from even outside of the region. So in terms of gender, we have 61% men and 39% women. So the other non-binary and prefer not to say. And then we have also on the organization represented by members, mostly academic and research institute. So it's clear from here that our SUMERNET network is kind of orientated towards research, creation of knowledge, but also on the other hand, there are also members from, for example, private sector, governments, policymakers, international organization, NGOs, media. So there is a growing also members from media. So I think that's really interesting for us. And this is aligned with our goal to be the influential network in the region. So in terms of governance, you see the picture here. Our network is guided by network members. So you are the one guiding us actually. So in all important strategic decision, we always request the input from the network members as widely as possible. And that is why we keep on asking you, when we launched a survey several weeks ago, we keep on asking you to kind of give us input. So because this is the bottom line of our network, that is SUMERNET is guided by its network members. The network members then delegate their authority in taking strategic decision to the SUMERNET steering committee. So distinguished persons that you see here also online, they are your representative. They are, taking some of the important decision within the network. And as mentioned earlier, that the SUMERNET steering committee members have been elected through open election. So this is quite unique for the network similar to us. I think we have a good practice here, really democratic practice, that we draw our SSC membership from the network member. We invite the network member to nominate themselves to be elected, openly elected. The SSC then delegate day-to-day operations and management of network and program to SUMERNET Secretariat. So that's us. Right now, the SUMERNET Secretariat is hosted at Stockholm Environment Institute in Bangkok. And we are performing duties to implement strategies, implement activities as per approved or endorsed by the SSC. So SUMERNET network members, SSC and SUMERNET Secretariat communicate regularly through various available channels. We communicate to emails. Sometimes we also arrange meetings, and we have regular meetings also with the SSC and with network members. So this one of such meeting is this meeting. So I think that really important to open communication with all the parties in the governance of SUMERNET for transparency, for accountability within our network. So they have the SUMERNET steering committee already introduced themselves, but maybe I can just show them the picture so you are more familiar to that. To those SSC representing your countries and the young professional. So we continuously do effort to strengthen our regional ownership. What we mean by that is actually we would like you, SUMERNET network members, to own SUMERNET. So to lead us in the important decision, strategic decision that will direct our network in the future. So we do this by enhancing SSC as a true network leader and with more representative from network members. We do this by open election, as mentioned. enhancing network membership and active engagement with the network members. We are always trying to engage with our network members, enhancing opportunities for the network members to contribute as an advisory role. So let's say we have a open vacancy for advisory role within SUMERNET. We always first open the call within our network. So we know that we have many capable and high capacity network members that can offer us support. So this is natural that we should seek for that kind of capacity within our network first. And then we make clearer of the function of the SUMERNET Secretariat. We already have a kind of a comprehensive TOR, terms of reference for the Secretariat. And we also explore feasible option for the improvement of SUMERNET governance structure. So the structure that you saw before will be evaluated regularly. One milestone of evaluation will be towards the end of this year, towards the end of the SUMERNET for all. And for sure, we will engage with you when it comes that we need to evaluate the governance structure. So more complete information about this is available at our SUMERNET membership handbook. It's available for download for all of you if you want to know more about this by scanning that QR code, and you can download the document. So for the SUMERNET Young Professional, I would like to invite my colleague, Buanong Latuli from Laos, to share about development within the SUMERNET Young Professional. Go ahead.
Thank you, Agus. Good day, everyone. Good day to everyone online. My name is Buanong Latuli. I'm a current SUMERNET fellow, and I also support as the SUMERNET Young Professionals Regional Coordinator. So as Agus mentioned, under the SUMERNET program, we have dedicated activities to engage with the young members in the region who are under 35, and for those that are in their early career professionals. This is known as the SUMERNET Young Professionals, or the SYP activities, which overall aims to enhance the regional ownership from our young professionals within the network through bottom-up initiatives. Before I share more of what SYP focuses on, I'd like to share with everyone a video of the SYP introduction to get everyone to understand and see the overview of what are the examples of SYP initiatives. This is 4 minutes video, so Agus, can you play the video for the networks? Just a second.
SUMERNET Young Professionals is a group of diverse members that engage, share, and learn about issues important in the Mekong region. In this way, we aim to be a network that is both knowledge-based and people-centered.
The SUMERNET Young Professionals Network at present has around 140 members who are the citizens from the 6 countries in the Mekong region and beyond. Our network community is for people who are interested in making a difference in their community and those who want to drive for the sustainable future for the region.
I was inspired to join SUMERNET because of my deep passion for the environmental sustainability, the opportunity to engage in the meaningful research and to connect with the experts from the field. It was my driving force to be here.
As a Laotian people, I feel deeply connected with environment, especially Mekong River. So that's why I joined SUMERNET Young Professional, because I want to feel connected more with environmental and engage more young people into environmental activities.
The things that inspired me to be here is my passionate about the biodiversity, climate change, and disaster that affects humankind. And it also relates to my field of study in geography and my research as well.
In all our activities, we collaborate with our partners networks such as Mekong Think Tank Program, Mekong Luncheon Water Sector Youth Leadership Network, and other partner institutions in the Mekong region. We host multiple events such as research skill trainings, knowledge sharing webinars, and photo contests on pressing environmental issues.
So as an MTT fellow, when it comes to SUMERNET learning agenda or activity, my experience have been like extremely positive in terms of like knowledge improvement among peer-to-peer and resource person, and also learning from their fresh perspective. I think this is something that have pushed me to do more in terms of like a young professional.
SUMERNET program also contribute to my professional development as a part of learning and capacity building journey. Since both have similar idea to promote the sustainable development in the Mekong, I strongly believe that the collaboration between the MTT and SUMERNET program will have more resilient and competent in enhancing and promoting the sustainable development in the Mekong region.
The SUMERNET Young Professionals Initiative was based on the idea that the youth is an agent of change. I envision the future of SYP as one where it actively empowers young professionals in driving innovation, sustainability, and resilience in the Mekong region.
SUMERNET is regionally owned network and also led by the network member. By being part of SUMERNET, either you are the senior experts or young professional, your passions, your work, and your energy are equally important to drive a more sustainable Mekong. The Mekong region is really big, and our challenges are so enormous. Only by working together, we can create more positive impacts to the society and beyond what we can do individually and also separately. I'm very much welcome opportunity to really cooperating with everyone. Please join us to join and cooperating with the SUMERNET family. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your attention in that 4-minute video. We put together that video specifically for our network session and also the SUMERNET Learning Forum. So I hope you enjoy learning about a little bit more about the SYP and our focuses when we mentioned that we want to engage with the young professionals in the region. And as you can see on the slide that we, among the network members, we have network members who are young professionals also. So we want to be inclusive and add that the memberships from our young professionals is a valuable add to the program, and we aim to enhance the regional ownership from young professionals within the network through the bottom-up initiatives, as I mentioned earlier. And along this goal, we hope to be able to build a network of young professionals in the region in the field of environmental science. We also hope we can strengthen the research skills and the capacity of young professionals in the region. We would also like to provide this as a platform for young professionals to exchange their ideas and about any environmental issues or challenges that occur in their community. And lastly, we hope that we can facilitate the cooperation and the friendship among the young members in the network, and not just in the network, but also other partner and also other network who share the common values that as we have. And through our initiatives, the SYP members can enhance their capacity and engage among each other, and that conducts and builds a long-lasting professional relationships. How will you receive the opportunities to join our SYP events? Next slide, please, Douglas. You can reach out to our country coordinators, which we have country coordinators from each regional countries that represents the SYP in their respective countries. So you can reach out to them also to discuss about collaboration opportunities that you want to share with us with the program. Of course, Agus already also regularly shares key events and opportunities via in email, but you can also reach out to our country coordinators, which I can provide the link to their contact if you for all the network members if you haven't had one. So I hope this gives you a bit of a brief of SYP activities and that you are more aware now that we also have this initiative within the SUMERNET network program to support the young members, and hopefully that brings more engagement, more connection, and more support from you. So thank you for your attention. Back to you, Agus.
Thank you, Bonong. So I think it's very interesting to see how when we give opportunity to the young professional or youth or young people, they will take it forward and they will make it nice. So I think it's worth that we support them with resources, with time to kind of craft their own, creativity and work. So I just would like to spend the next minute to kind of cover the SUMERNET research and policy engagement activities that we have done recently. So the main activities are facilitated under SUMERNET for All program, which is implemented with the support of SIDA, Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency. And our mission within SUMERNET for All is to improve policy and practices in reducing water insecurity through research, conducting collaborative research, engaging policy process, and promoting scientifically sound research and innovation, while considering gender and social equality, human rights, conflict sensitivity, environmental integrity, and poverty reduction in the Mekong region. So we aim to contribute to the impact of reduced water insecurities for all, in particular poor, marginalized, and socially vulnerable men and women in the Mekong region. So as you see the period also, we are close to the end of the SUMERNET for All. But I would like to maybe share a bit about what we have done. So we have supported 47 grants in the period of five years. And we have also supported many of the grantees here, 230 grantees in total. And you see the sites of the projects is kind of spread all over the Mekong, which, by end of our program, there should be a lot of, insights, a lot of findings, a lot of policy impacts that we expect to find by the end of this program. So by the end of this program, we kind of scan through what we have done and what we have achieved. We have done a lot of engagements. We have done engagement with the policymakers, with the policy influencers. We have engaged with the community also in our research projects, as well as we engage, as you know, we engage also with the young researcher, young professional. So you see here SUMERNET in numbers. So you see the numbers that I have presented before, but maybe you can see it clearly now that 100% of our projects supported within SUMERNET for All are targeting vulnerable groups as beneficiaries. We have also over 400 researchers trained in gender and social equality, on conflict sensitivity and human rights-based approach. We have 60 plus peer-reviewed publication accepted for publication. And also we have a lot of many of the communication products, knowledge products that we produce through this program. So I think this is something that we, it's good to celebrate. And that's why we will have this week SUMERNET Learning Forum as a a platform to celebrate all of this achievement in our program. Actually, we have another program, flagship program that is endorsed and supported within SUMERNET, which is the Mekong Thought Leadership and Think Tank Network that would be presented after this. But maybe before that, I would like to open for question. If there's any question from your side, if there is any comments on our presentation on the updates of our network, please. Do we have a question on the chat? No? Any question from the audience? I think we are all happy with SUMERNET then, right? So, okay, that's.
Can I just check? There's 27 comments on the chat box. Is somebody checking on that to see if there's anything relevant?
Yeah, I think that is mostly introduction, right? Introduction, yes. If we don't have question, maybe some people in the room, participants in the room, do you have any question or comments?
I'll have one comment. I think the Sustainable Youth Network is brilliant. I was really excited to see that grow and get bigger and to see the people that are in it and to see them connecting across the region. So whatever we can do to continue to support that, I think we should. I think we should try and see how we open it up and expand it again and give the leaders of that a really good leadership training as well to take this on into the future. Because I think it's going to be really important for anything we want to do in the region to have young and upcoming leaders like this taking over. So I think it's a great initiative and well done to everybody for building it and well done to SUMERNET for supporting it.
Thank you. Thank you, Niall. So I think it's very encouraging to see that we continue to support the young professional and the young people. So is there any question from the audience? Can you read or?
Hi, everyone. Here's Anjali. Maybe I can just help read out loud for the questions from the audience. There are two questions. The first one is asking how the impact of young professionals are evaluated. And the second one is, are there any examples of action research? Yes.
So, I mean, I can give my respond to that, but maybe later on, maybe Buanong can help us to give more insight about evaluating the impact. I think we need to go back again to the objective of this SYP in terms of achieving those objectives. That is one way to measure the performance of the young professional. But also, you know, there are a lot of actually when we evaluate the projects that we are supporting, there are many contributions from the young researchers, for example, and there are many of the masters and PhD graduates due to the involvement within the project. So I think that is something that we can also monitor, that you know, what has SUMERNET contributed to the capacity of the young professional in the region in terms of helping them in the education, helping them in the academic career. I think this is something that we can evaluate in as we are close to the end of the SUMERNET for All. On the action, okay, so maybe on this question, maybe Puki, Buanong, if you have any additional comment?
Yes, thank you, Mahesh. I hope I pronounced your name correctly for the question. So basically, when we evaluate the impact, we measure by looking at the number of the increased memberships from our young professionals in the network member. Because initially, when we measure the number, there was about 70 young professionals in the network member out of over 600, I think. So We measured, one of our goals is also to increase the membership. So, after we launched the initiatives of the SYP since 2021, we have been able to increase the number up to over 140 members in the network. So one of that has shown that we also have been successfully engaged with young professionals in the region, able to reach out to them more and inform them of the program and the opportunities offered by SUMERNET. Apart from that, in all our events that we hosted, we also did feedbacks, surveys, post survey from the events, and in each event that we host, we still receive attention and also good collaborations from the young professionals to join the sessions that we hosted. So I think this gives an example of how we measure the achievement that we've done so far. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Bonong. So, on the question about action research, under SUMERNET for All, we funded 6 joint action projects, which is essentially action-oriented or policy influence-oriented project, which we expect the project to use existing research and work with the policymaker or boundary partner to influence the policy or improve the implementation of the policy. That's a type of grant that I think we would like to maintain in the future. You will see that in the upcoming session on the future of SUMERNET. The other research that we supported has been the rapid response research, which is based on the demand from the policymaker or boundary partner on to address specific policy issue in the country. So this is also something that we will continue supporting in the future. And because I think this is really very useful to show the impact of research to the policy. Is there any more question?
Question from Kun Koprat. She mentioned that she's keen to understand more on the differences between SUMERNET and MTT program.
Okay.
And how is the fellow expected to contribute to SUMERNET or MTT? Okay.
That's a really good question. So what is the difference between SUMERNET and MTT? SUMERNET has been established for a while, since 2005. And we've been working to, basically the basis of our work is on the research, but policy relevant research. So research that is built on the policy question, right? But in the MTT, we are more focusing on the policy engagement. So how we use the existing knowledge to engage with the policy process. So this is the difference between the approach within SUMERNET. So in SUMERNET, we emphasis on the research that is relevant to answer the policy question. But in MTT, we are emphasizing on the process to carry forward that research to create a policy impact. So maybe I can invite Dr. Chinese to maybe have more elaborate explanation, more clear.
Thank you very much. I think this is a good question, and I understand Kun Koprat is a new fellow of the MTT, and this is a very useful question. SUMERNET is a long-term research network. So it has been established since 2005. Now we are in operation for 19 years. And when you say the network work beyond the program. The network work beyond the individual projects. At early stage, before we become the network, we have the SUMERNET program or SUMERNET big project. But then with the initiations of the founding members and the network members, we feel that we want to continue working together beyond one program. That's why we joined effort in continuing our activity and cooperations for now 19 years. SUMERNET is a network, and SUMERNET have several programs, several phases under the network. Now SUMERNET have 4 phases already. So the latest phase we are working now is the 4th phase called SUMERNET for All program under SUMERNET network. So now I think you better understand what is different between network and program, right? And now within the SUMERNET network that we have more than like I could say 700 network members. Several members in the network thought that we would like to cooperate together to work on specific program that really touch upon enhancing the role and the capacity and effectiveness of the think tank or of the organization that try to influence the policy within the Mekong region. That's why we put in the proposal for raising the funds, so-called to fund the MTT program, Mekong Thought Leadership and Think Tank Network program. And if you ask me, I am currently the director of the SUMERNET for All, one program, and I'm also director of the MTT program. So these are programmatic-wise, these are 2 separated programs. However, those who are working in the SUMERNET actually implementing the MTT program, and we see so much kind of potential for us to continue working beyond individual program more long term. That's why we thought that, okay, there should be really more kind of development of the Mekong Thought Leadership and Think Tank Network as alliance beyond the program period that will end within 2 or 3 years. So if you have interest on this, we can continue discussing more about this. But basically, I would say SUMERNET network is the home, is the families. In our family, we have different network or different alliance under the SUMERNET. SUMERNET Young Professionals, it's like is a network that SUMERNET is supporting. Yeah, so we are all same families of the SUMERNET. But MTT is a new alliance that we try to have and establish that will support specifically on how we enhance really the role capacities and young professionals who trying to influence the policy linking with water, energy, and climate. So that's why we see that there's some specific focus that MTT is quite unique, but overall the MTT also contributing to sustainable development, which is a more long-term goal of the SUMERNET as well. So in short, we are same family, but in our family, different members in the family are better or are good in different aspects of the things, but we are really trying to contribute to the societies together, but in different capacities and different really uniqueness. That's probably what I like to explain now. I think every time people ask about this, maybe we need to create probably one kind of slide or explaining this as a common terminology and explanation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chinese. So 2 more questions. So can you read the question? I see the last question, which is how SUMERNET network sustain. So we've been so as Dr. Chinese mentioned, we are long-term network, and we've been supported generously by SIDA, Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, but we are keep finding out how organically we can sustain ourselves. So that's why we also emphasize in the next future phase of SUMERNET that not only programmatic, but also we would like to support also the network. So there is a lot of interest from our donors to follow up, this network in the future. So, but we will also going to develop a mechanism in which our network can sustain through different mechanism, through this multi-donor mechanism that we will explore further in the future. Dr. Chinese, maybe you can add more on this.
SUMERNET is SUMERNET is a network. When we say network, the network is really kind of cooperate together. So we have joint activities. When we have big funding, we have a lot of activity together like grant implementation and others. When we don't have really big programs supporting us, we still within the network, but we more on targeting on more kind of knowledge and information sharing. It doesn't at all times SUMERNET program have the donor to fund specific grants, but we often make sure that we mobilize the information to share where is other funding opportunity, where's the capacity building opportunities. And I would say as long as we have the really common interest, the SUMERNET network member have a common interest in using the evidence base to inform the policy for a more sustainable development world in the Mekong. So it's not only donors supporting us. I would say largely the intellectual contribution is beyond what CEDAS or DFAT or other donors supporting us. It's really our kind of interest, our passion, our work, our mandate, our responsibility, our connections, and our teams, our staff, everyone contributing to the existence of the SUMERNET. So when we could really raise a fund from external donors, we will have a lot of activity as mentioned. This activity make us possible to work together in the same project, same program, same activity. But if without this, we can still work with the same network by contributing in kind, or sometimes we trying to use whatever existing capacity, existing project. We work separately, but we can try to seek synergies to cooperate. Sometimes we do joint events. Sometimes we do publications together. So there's many ways for us to continue working together. But what I feel SUMERNET last 20 years and now it's different is we really stronger. We know how we actually work, not only for knowledge co-production, but how we engage with the stakeholders better, how we inform and use the knowledge or research that we produce to better contribute to the society. By this way, our network is really variable and it shows by itself the why we should really stick together, whether or not we have external funding. But by saying this, we really keen to have more active contribution and also work that make us possible to meet with each other and make us possible for us to implement some joint activity. That's why after these sessions, there will be some session to really engage and also seek your advice on the design of future phase of the SUMERNET. And many of you, I think 76 members in the network contributing to provide feedback how SUMERNET in the next 5 years should look like in terms of the focus and implementation. And I would very much looking forward to your future feedback on what we present from the results of the survey that you all contributed, and also the synthesis from our experience implementing the SUMERNET for all in the past 5 years. Maybe I stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chinese. So I think it's clear response from Dr. Chinese. So is there one more? Yes.
One more question from Mr. Kian Nguyen Wan. How do you transit these regional issues or concerns into thinking of your country's youth and make their interest and action in the future?
So maybe this is something that Buan Nong can answer because it's a young, something to do with the motivation for the young professional and youth. Buan Nong, please.
Okay, thank you, Agus. So I think I can share some examples of how we transition the thinking of wanting to build a more sustainable, environmental sustainable region in the Mekong countries. When we communicate with the young professionals in the region, I think most important factor of all is that they need to be more aware of what is the actions that they could take to achieve the sustainability of the environment in their respective regions and their respective communities. I think most of them aren't equipped with enough capacity, enough opportunities to be able to conduct or provide their voices into making their initiatives to support the sustainability of their community. So what we do as a SUMERNET, in the SUMERNET platform, and how we support them is that we try our best to reach out to the young professionals and network with them and share that they have the opportunities with SUMERNET to connect with other young professionals in the region. And once they are more aware of that capacity and that they can have and they can learn from us, I think it gradually transitions their thinking to wanting to be more involved and more engaged with the SUMERNET platform and the initiatives that we have, which is to build a more sustainable and resilient Mekong region. So that is some of the replicate actions that has been happening so far in the experience that I had when communicating with the youth or young professionals in the region. My colleague maybe can also add on to this, who also supports the SYP's initiative. But that's the answer that I can provide for now. Thank you.
Yes, please. Kun Boripat. Yes.
Yeah, maybe I just add on to what Buki said. I completely agree. I think usually young professionals, they are already motivated. They have their passions about their issues. And I think we see the SUMERNET Young Professionals job is really giving more of a platform where they can share, exchange, and voice their concerns or their solutions, basically. And so that's why in SUMERNET Young Professionals we organize various types of activities, like Buan Nong has already mentioned, like training, seminars, and networking opportunities as well. And I would also like to kind of quickly link to the previous question from Kun Kobrat about how MTT fellows or other young professionals can be involved with the SUMERNET Young Professionals. And of course, in particularly for the MTT fellows, yes, you will have your cohort of MTT fellows, like 30 plus members or something like that, which is good, and we will aim to build that up. But we also see that there is an opportunity for these MTT fellows or other young fellows to expand their network as well. And one of the ways to do this is through the SUMERNET Young Professionals network that we've built. And in fact, a lot of our recent activities that we've done have been joint events between SUMERNET Young Professionals and the MTT Fellowship Program. For example, we've organized a few different networking opportunities, which has included both members from the MTT Fellowships, members from SUMERNET Young Professionals, and I think I think I can speak on behalf of the team that they've been going very well. Members have been active and get to know each other. And also, if you or Kun Kobrat or other young professional members have come to join our events and really enjoy participating, another option, if you want to be even more involved with us, is to consider joining our core team. Our core team has about like 10 people at the moment, and our main jobs is to organize the events, get the speakers, do the logistics, etc. And in my opinion, like I think like working together in this core team has been like kind of like the real networking, the real friendship building. And I've been really impressed, and I feel quite lucky to be able to kind of facilitate the two groups between the MTT side and the SUMERNET side. So I would really encourage anyone who's interested to be more involved, not just as a participant, but also as an implementer as well in driving this SUMERNET Young Professionals. I really encourage you to contact us, either myself or Bonong, and yeah, we're happy to talk to you more about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kun Boripat. So in the interest of time, there is one more question, right? I think about the event. So I think I just quickly want to respond to that. So we have at least one event per year for SUMERNET to kind of influence the regional policy processes. And that is usually held during the annual meeting, our annual meeting. And this year we will have it this week. You also have received the invitation to register. This is Research to Policy Forum. This is where so we will engage with the regional and national policymakers to share our research. But on the other hand, also for the the grantees and the projects that we have supported, they are really encouraged and supported to be also sharing their findings and their policy recommendation to regional events or national events that will engage with the policymakers. But I think more to that will come in the next presentation. So maybe I can transition quickly to the next presentation. So the next presentation will be about the Mekong Thoughts Leadership and Think Tank Networks. This is one of the flagship projects of SUMERNET that or program within SUMERNET that we are currently implementing. And to present this, I would like to invite Mr. Nyan Vo, SCI Program Manager and MTT Specialist, who will cover most of some of the things that you mentioned in the questions about policy engagement, our action research. Please, Nyan, go ahead.
Thank you, Agus, and thank you, Dr. Chayanis, to answer the question about relationship between MTT and SUMERNET. So I don't have to answer again after this presentation. So before I update everyone in the network about the progress, I am aware that many people might not know about the Mekong Thought Leadership and Think Tank Network to begin with. So I'll just go quickly on a brief introduction to the event, to the program. So what we call short is the MTT program. We'll cover 3 areas of development impact. One is on water, the second one is on energy security, and the last one is climate change. And we are looking at these 3 areas in a nexus approach. And our primary boundary partners is the KPPIOs in the Mekong region. This is a short for knowledge-based policy influence organizations. Our geographical coverage is 4 countries of the Mekong, Cambodia, Laos, PDR, Thailand, and Vietnam. And our funding source or our donor is the Australian government through the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. For the MTT long-term goal, our program aims to contribute to improved and more equitable water and energy security adaptation and mitigation to climate change in the Mekong region for the benefit of all, especially the marginalized, vulnerable, and at-risk communities. And to help achieve this, our end of the program outcome, we would like to see is the water, energy, and climate research and policy interfaces are robust and more inclusive, resulting in more effective and equitable policies, which are cross-sectoral, informed by evidence, and are responding to the needs of vulnerable groups. To work with this is not one organization effort, but actually we work as a consortium. In our consortium, we have a organization partners and as well as 25 counterparts of the primary consortium members. We have the lists on the presentation. And if you miss any information, feel free to scan the QR code that I put on every slide. It will be directed to a website when we introduce our MTT program in more details. So go a little bit deeper. To achieve these program outcomes, we set out 3 objectives. Objective 1 is on effective policy engagements. Objective 2 is on inclusive knowledge co-production, and the last but not least, objective 3, enhance capacity of agents of change. And in a practical implementation level, we divided the program resources into 5 components. I will introduce one by one and updated what have been the current progress of each component and as well as the upcoming activities. So in case you would like to join or to keep in touch with our developments. So the first component is on development of a homegrown regional network alliance of the knowledge-based policy influence organizations. So as a current progress, we have established the alliance and now it's still in the development of the terms of reference for membership of the MTT Regional Water, Energy and Climate Change Alliance. We are soon will recruit additional members for the alliance, and of course, SUMERNET network member is more than welcome to join and express interest of becoming a members of the alliance, as the MTT program has been endorsed by SUMERNET. So yeah, we're expecting you to join our MTT Alliance in a very near future. And for the upcoming activities, we are, as I mentioned, we're expanding our membership, and also we are going to organize the MTT Regional Water, Energy and Climate Change Alliance meetings tomorrow in the afternoon. And the second one of the year is on October 2024. For the second component is actually on the enhancing climate resilience of water energy system through policy research and collaboration among the policy influence organizations. And for this, the very current progress is that we have been commissioned 4 flagship research studies and 7 rapid response projects. I'm happy to share with you the results that we have full on 4 Mekong country coverage in the MTT grant portfolio. We have 4 projects focused on Cambodia, 3 projects on Laos, PDR, 4 projects on Thailand, and last but not least, 6 projects on Vietnam. And many projects actually cross-cutting and cross-boundary, covering more than 1 country. And in terms of project teams, gender ratio, more than half of the member team are women and 46% be men. For the upcoming activities, we will continue providing support and mentoring and helping the 11 grants that we commissioned to achieve their objective and to be aligned with our MTT overall objective. The next one would be MTT inclusive engagement with policy, practice, and publish beyond dialogues for effective changes. So here we are focusing more on policy engagement at national and of course regional level. So we have been organized the Alliance meeting, the first one, and the policy forum last year on September in Bangkok, Thailand. Beside that, we're also engaging on different regional platform that's related or relevant to our three thematic areas. And for the upcoming activities, we also gonna organize the policy forum on this October, and with additional funding from our donor DFAC, we're going to organize the second regional roundtable on building climate resilience in the Mekong regions, back to back, also in October 2024. The fourth component is focusing more on the capacity developments of our partner, and especially of the young, rather mid and entry careers professionals in the form of MTT fellowship programs. So we recruited 19 fellows hosted by across 9 partner organizations in the Mekong regions. We also have organized a capacity development workshop back to back, and also had a very first opportunity and networking between MTT fellow and SUMERNET fellow back last year September. That would be it. And the last component is more on management and monitoring, evaluation and learnings of the program. I'm not going to detail into this, as the final fifth component is more on supporting all of other components and make sure that behind the scenes the program is running smoothly, effectively and efficiently. Thank you very much. I also put the contact info if you want to get in touch and if you want to know more or have question about MT's program. So please feel free to give us an email. Thank you very much. Back to you, Agus.
Thank you, Nyan. So I hope that's reflected in the presentation that in MTT we are more focusing on the interface between research and policy, and we are aiming to enhance effectiveness of policy engagement in the water, energy, and climate change policies in the region. So if there's any question, maybe we can, in the interest of time, maybe 2 questions from the audience. No? Going once? Yes? Oh yeah, Ajahn.
Thank you. Actually, this question left over from morning. And this is a new initiative, and it has a focus, to achieve something by creating a real influence. I think so far in the beginning, since it's established 2023, right? 21 year, almost 2 years. There is a component on evaluation as well. I think this is a new thing. I'm not sure whether any idea on how whether this is well received by any particular unique stakeholders, partners. I think because it's a new initiative, monitoring and evaluation is quite critical to give us, what works and what is right or not. Is there any idea or plan how to do that?
I can respond to that first, Achan, and then maybe the others can add. But I think we, building on SUMERNET, we are using the same approach under SUMERNET. We've been using the boundary partner approach. So in all our flagships study and also the rapid response, we kind of help the grantee or the partners to identify the boundary partners, and their project proposal and project plan should include this within already in the project plan. So they would know already what kind of policy process they are targeting, who are the policy makers and policy stakeholders they should be engaging throughout the project. So I think that's, we've been using that since SUMERNET phase 2, I think. Yeah. Dr. Chinese, you have more to add?
The MTT was initiated by the SUMERNET member, and there's a lot of inherent approach that we learned from the SUMERNET in the past phases, including the current phase, into the design, the program, and also activities under the MTT. And if you ask, for example, what are the kind of sign or acceptance of regional or policymaker or stakeholders on the MTT, I would say yes, because we spent about a year in designing the MTT. It's not like we are very ambitious. And I would say our stakeholders, including our donors, DFAT, also ambitious in co-production process. So we're making sure currently MTT is granting 11 projects, and all projects have the requirement that when the design and putting the proposal, they have to identify very clear target use of whatever they will produce. So we have 4 flagship studies, and all flagship studies have to demonstrate who are the policy actors, what type of policy you are influencing, and what will be the output, and how is the process that within 1.5 years, the flagship studies have to demonstrate. And when it comes to rapid response, MTT funding 7 rapid response is also identify very clearly what is target audience, and rapid response is not a project to produce new knowledge. It's the project to use existing knowledge or updating existing knowledge together with the policy actors, and to demonstrate that this actually useful knowledge and to the specific policy or society. So if you ask whether what are the results, how we monitor this, we monitor along the way, and each individual for the MTT, we have the theory of change and also monitoring evaluation framework that at the program level we monitor. We have very clear indicators what we are monitoring at. And at individual project level, they also have monitoring, evaluation, and learning framework that they need to really keep monitoring, and we have reporting, we have the way to enhance also the capacities and supporting the partners. And most of the grantees that receiving the fund, I would say also from the SUMERNET network members. So they are not completely new to them when it comes to the way to engage with policy, monitoring, and evaluation. But I would say there's still some big gap that we need to continue supporting, because when we say the same organization, it doesn't mean always same person. So what I feel really proud and like about the MTT supported by the SUMERNET is that we have this opening opportunity to other members who never access the SUMERNET or funding in the past before. So there are some certain members receiving the grant in this time round that already received in the past, but there are also many partners that also accessing this funding opportunity that they don't have before. And what is unique for the MTT in current Laos, and I think it's really, I have to say big thanks to our SUMERNET fellows and also SUMERNET young professional. We are very much inspired by how active one young professional, one member here could really contribute to more sustainable development in the Mekong region. Under MTT, even the program itself is smaller. We are ambitious. We are actually supporting 30 fellows. You can imagine SUMERNET only fund about 7 or 8 fellows, but MTT actually puts so much really emphasis on making sure that young professionals engage in this not only individual fellowship work, but also directly engage in a flagship study, rapid response opportunities, that they will have more hand-on activity to work on. So we still need to monitor how effective is this when it comes to implementation. I think we have about a year ahead until mid of next year or at latest October next year to show the results. But with everyone here, we have already some certain experience. I think we will very much contributing to more enhancing each other knowledge. And tomorrow, in the morning, I will give a talk on how SUMERNET and MTT actually really contributing to enhance knowledge co-productions and also policy engagement in the region in numbers. Yeah. So thank you.
Yes, Dr. Pakde, yes.
Actually, just a quick follow-up question. Very clearly presented that the MTT objective is to have policy impact, but what would be the minimum requirement to demonstrate that the research has policy impact? Is it just being mentioned in the policy, or the recommendations have to be adopted in policies? Like, what is the minimum cutoff?
Well, I mean, maybe Nyan can offer first the comment, because I think Nyan is fully on top of the monitoring, evaluation, and learning for the MTT. Please, Nyan.
Actually, we don't as a target, as an indicator. We looking at it as a policy influence, meaning that actually it's reflected in our monitoring, evaluation, and learning framework that the poultry partners meaning researcher, advisor, the team, or even our fellow. That's why we put them under the flagship study and rapid response organizations, being a part of a policy process, being a part of a policy advocacy, or presenting at as a regional or national policy consultation workshop and things like that. So we recognize policy influence as a dynamic scenario, and we don't strictly put it into one definition, but rather reflecting the actual impact and actual efforts between us and our sub-grantee, and also with our donor, that this is our achievement and this is the realities. Yeah.
Thank you, Nyan. I think I can add a bit. I think although like Nyan said that what's important is actually how they engage in the policy process, but we also in the monitoring, evaluation, learning, we also monitor, for example, how many policy recommendations already shared or already accepted by the policymakers or boundary partners. But again, I think the important thing is here is the process, how they engage and how effective their engagement. This is what we continuously monitor and evaluate in the MEL. Any additional?
This is very much bottom-up process. We actually similar to SUMERNET. We ask each grantee to identify who are policy actor, which level they ambitious, because we realize this is a 1 year and 1.5 year granted activity. So I can give you one example. One example is a flagship study led by SCI and also with Dr. Pumisai. We have Dr. Ulawan, we have others working together. So in that particular project, we consulted with policy actor, which is the Mekong River Commission. So in earlier, we have a discussion with them, and they define that they would like to know how to manage water storage, existing one, in the way that have multi-objective, in the way considering infrastructure and non-infrastructure together. So by this way, they can really develop some more guideline or best practice that could be really shared with all 4 member countries. And this is more or less will be more kind of official inputs to the process where the country would consider implementing and collaborating together. So having this set up and having this consideration, it demonstrates that they have very clear plan and already clear needs on ground and already clear process how this will be conducted. What are the consultation process? What will be the mechanism to uptake? So this is just one example, but different project, different flagship studies, and also different rapid response have different identification on the level of their ambitious. But when we assess the proposal, it was very clear with the steering committee or program steering committee that what we are looking for opportunity, because the program has a main objective to enhance the role, capacity, and effectiveness of knowledge-based policy influencing organization, is to make sure that what they are now doing, they will do better. They can be more efficient. They know better how to work across the sector. They know how to indicate gender, social equality, and disability into the planning and into the influencing process. So, and what is unique for this is they consider disability as really the main things. And SUMERNET learned a lot from the MTT in that aspect as well, and how when Ludi presented this morning about JETSI. JETSI stands for Gender Equality, Social Inclusion, and Disability. So the disability part is really coming later on, and we are really looking forward for future, like Ludi will present in the next sessions, how in the future, SUMERNET will very much looking forward to support people with disabilities or with different ability to be able to have more voice and also to be able to assess whatever the benefit that we will do when it comes to the work of the SUMERNET or MTT in the future. Maybe I stop here. Yeah.
So maybe just to clarify, so what you have explained would also answer the question earlier, what's the difference between SUMERNET and MTT? I think really the end products would be the difference, because if we look at the end products for SUMERNET, it's actually publications, papers that are academically reviewed, whereas what you have said just now, MTT, that is not a major concern, that projects do not have to deliver on these things. It's more just responding to what is the policy need, whereas the production of knowledge in the peer review format is not a concern for MTT, which is a concern for SUMERNET.
To be honest, DFAT, our donor made us very clear that they don't worry about peer review publication at all. What is really incredible knowledge production for them is a knowledge product that co-produced by policy actor or by the user. But for us, since we are working as a research network, for flagship study, we actually require at least one peer review paper. The funding for flagship study is 200,000 Australian dollar within 1.5 years, so it's quite big within the time. And also, so we thought that by having this, at least it's ensure that the knowledge that co-produce and at the same time equally emphasize on engagement will be credible. And that's why we only require one paper. On the other hand, for SUMERNET and others, when it comes to this scale or similar size of funding, we would require 2 or 3 peer review paper. So on rapid response fund under the MTT, we don't require any peer review publication. We only require policy, whatever the output that policy actor would need. So this is, we leave it very much open and flexible for the grantee or proponent to really propose and make a case. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Park Dae, Dr. Chinese, for the discussion. So I'm going to move to the next session, which is on the future of SUMERNET, but actually we need to break. I think it's been a long session. So, but I would like to propose a short break, maybe 5 minutes. But before that, I think my suggestion would be to take picture, photo for all of us. I think it will take only 1 minute to do that. So if possible, could you please open your camera and we will show it here, and then We'll capture your smile. Or can you help?
Hi, everyone. Please give us your best smile, and there would be 2 to 3 seconds. So I will first count, and then we'll move for next batch, because this time we have 36 participants attended. So Agus, could you help capture it after I count? So the first batch, everyone please smile. I'm counting now. 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Okay. And the next one. Next one. Anyone would like to open the camera? Please do it now. Maybe some of us just feel shining. Okay, I'm counting 3, 2, 1. That's nice.
Just one more.
We need to take one more smile. It's okay. In 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So thank you for participating with your smile. Also, thank you for leading the photo session. So now we will take a 5 minutes break. So we'll return at 3:53. Yes. Thank you very much. So looking forward for the next session about future of SUMERNET. Thank you. So I hope you enjoy your short coffee break. Now in the next session, session 6, we would like to share with you our concept about ensuring sustainable and just transition in the Mekong region with SUMERNET Plus. So for this session, I would like to invite Dr. Pak Deng Won, our SSC member, to facilitate the session. He's been really, and also with several other members of the SUMERNET Steering Committee, have been really instrumental in setting the direction towards this concept together with the Secretariat. So, Dr. Pak Deng, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Agus, and good afternoon again to all the participants here and also online. This is very much just to give you an update on where we are in terms of the preparation for the next phase of SUMERNET, because as everybody knows, the current phase of SUMERNET will be coming to an end by the end of this year. So in order to prepare for the next phase, the Secretariat and also the SUMERNET steering committees, we have been working together to put together a concept note. And this concept note has also been discussed with our long-term partner, which is SIDA. We have received some feedback, and we have also been working on revising the concept note, taking into account these feedback from SIDA. So without further ado, I also would like to, before we go into the presentation, I also like to acknowledge the support that we have been receiving from the Secretariat, specifically Shasmita and Ridi, who have been really instrumental in putting together what we have discussed onto paper. So we very much appreciate the support with regards to this preparation. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to hand over to Shasmita and Reddy to share with our member some of the key feature of the proposal. Of course, we are also happy to share the proposal for further reading, but in the interest of time, so we will try to focus on some of the key highlights that we would like to inform our members. So please go ahead, Vidi and Jasmita.
Thank you so much, Dr. Phagde, and good afternoon, everyone. And we'll try to keep this session short and interesting. So we'll try and dwell less on what we already have and, open the floor more to hear more from you about your visions, your interests, and how you want to see SUMERNET grow and transform from what we have right now to the next phase. So as Dr. Phagde already mentioned that we are currently working on SUMERNET's next phase proposal. So what we have right now is largely focusing on the theme titled Partnership for Long-Term Climate Resilient Mekong Through Just and Sustainable Transitions. So that is what we are thinking to be the high-level theme of the next phase of SUMERNET. So in the next 15 to 20 minutes, what I'm trying to do is trying to share with you some of the successes, achievements, and lessons learned from the current phase of SUMERNET, which was SUMERNET for All, which largely focused on water insecurity within the Mekong. And from there, also, as some of you already mentioned in the chat, that you have responded to the network survey, which was seeking responses and inputs from the network members on the future direction of SUMERNET. So we'll also share some of the findings from that network survey. And lastly, in the conclusive section of the presentation, we'll try to share with you what currently SUMERNET Plus looks like. And then from there, we'll open the floor for discussion to hear more from you all as well. So firstly, coming on to what have been the major learnings from SUMERNET for All. So within the last phase of implementation, we've realized that there is increased need for more longer-term pilots or longer-term action oriented projects within Mekong to have a sustained and long-term impact. So we need to be engaging more with communities and also decision makers simultaneously. And we have to work cohesively towards a common goal. Cross-country learnings as well as experience sharing would be key as we are going to have a similar learning forum in the next couple of days as well. Also, through these longer term projects, we believe that we'll be able to catalyze policy impact and accelerate action on ground, especially within the Mekong region. And this has particularly been highlighted by one of the rapid response grants, which have been provided by SUMERNET. And this was based on a request which was raised by our boundary partners, which was the Department of Groundwater Resources in Cambodia, where they raised that need that they want SUMERNET to help them develop a groundwater management plan, which never existed in Cambodia, based on their learnings and interactions with other boundary partners and government agencies from other Mekong countries. Moving on, we've also learned a lot from how bottom-up approach can be very, very effective in terms of having large-scale impacts as well. So this approach was evidenced by one of our joint action projects, which was participatory flood risk management in Ban Phai municipality of Northern Thailand. Also here, we documented that participatory approach in this case specifically led to successful co-knowledge production, which has been the core of SUMERNET program. And the knowledge production was not the end of the project. It then built on to, catalyzing municipality level policy changes. And also then there was a demand to replicate this particular flood risk management model across different cities within Thailand. And also then it mobilized approximately 1 billion Thai baht in terms of resources in the region to address the flood risks in northern Thailand. Also, moving ahead, we saw that there has been some, emphasis on JETSI, which is gender equality, disability, and social inclusion within our granted projects. We have seen some of the projects make a leadway here by implementing some gender disaggregated data collection methods, but more so, majority of our projects have faced challenges, and they have come back to us that these are the limitations that we need to be addressed. And these now we are picking as the starting points for the next phase of SUMERNET, whereas we are going to ensure that JETSI is considered throughout the entire project cycle. And there's also a more understanding and team capacities available within the grantees to integrate JETSI more cohesively within the project implementation. Also, we'll try and impart some capacity building and trainings to use a JETSI lens in data analysis as well. So from the current phase of SUMERNET for all and moving towards SUMERNET Plus, we'll try and have more proactive measures included within the project design, which would lead to a more transformative JETSI approach. Also, we've seen in the earlier presentations by Agus and Buonong that SUMERNET has also, seen the SUMERNET young professionals grow from small numbers, and now they have over 140 active members. So through this support from SUMERNET for all, we've seen the youth voices being amplified in the region, and we are trying to link the youth perspectives with wider networks for larger engagement, better engagement, and also having more impact on ground. Through SYP, we're also trying to establish a long-term network where the young professionals, the early careers or the mid-career researchers can have a platform for knowledge exchange and also network building. We are also trying to drive this momentum towards establishing a more leadership-oriented network for collective impact, especially in Mekong region. Also, we've seen that to ensure that we have regional policy level impact, we would also need to focus more on regional cooperation. And in the last phase, we identified 2 regional organizations, MRC and LMC, to be our vital partners for next phase. And these would be the key agencies that we want to collaborate with in the next phase. And these long-term partnerships would ensure that, we have a paramount impact, and this is sustained for longer time period within the Mekong. Also, we'll try and find out common areas where we can collaborate, as one of the need has been highlighted by MRC to support them on community-led research. So we look for these avenues where we can work together towards mutual success and also more sustainable and climate resilient Mekong as well. Lastly, in terms of learning, we want to also look at what has been missing within our current project. So we saw that there is, more focus on one specific sector. So we are more sector specific, more sector oriented. We're not taking the bigger picture into the account as of yet. So in the next phase, we want to enhance the cross-sectoral cooperation within our projects and also bring in the nexus approach, which can enhance our understanding of climate resilience as well, and also address the nexus gap and focus on issues in the region from water, energy, climate nexus approach, and also from water, energy, food nexus as well. While moving into the next phase, we also want to continue support for some of the projects which have shown real impact on ground, and to continue supporting them in the longer run so that we can have more enhanced policy outcomes. We can broaden their scopes and maximize those outcomes in the coming years as well. So now moving on to what have been the survey findings And we have compiled these survey findings till 23rd May. And at the end of the presentation, I'll also share the link of the network survey again with you. If you haven't shared your feedback with us, your responses to the survey, please feel free to do so till 31st May. So I'll quickly walk you through what have been the major findings of this survey. So for this particular presentation, we had a sample size of around 76 respondents, most of which were in the age group of 36 to 45 years and have had either very long-term engagement with SUMERNET, but most of them have been engaging with SUMERNET in the last 5 years. And also in terms of gender balance, we had more women responding to the survey than men. Just to quickly look at where our network respondents were located, so are from, so you can see that majority of the respondents were from Vietnam, followed by Thailand, Cambodia, Myanmar, and we have maybe 1 or 2 representatives from China and a couple more from India. But when we asked for where the respondents are working in which countries in the Mekong, so you can see again, there is dominance of Vietnam, Thailand, and also Cambodia. The next question that we asked within this survey was whether do you think that the higher theme that we are proposing for the next phase, which was, as I earlier mentioned, partnership for long-term climate resilient Mekong through just and sustainable transition. So we found that approximately 91% of the respondents totally agreed with the theme that we have proposed, and also 9% are somewhat aligning with what we are proposing. But the key point to note is we had none of the respondents saying that the theme is irrelevant. So I think that sets us on the right path here. And also when we asked the network, how do you evaluate your current capacity? Do you think we have that capacity within the network to actually implement SUMERNET Plus, or to, envision such a program? So we saw that majority of the respondents thought that we had good capacities, and some of us even believe that, yes, we are even better than that, and we can take this forward for sure. Also, we were also keen to know what sort of activities do you think SUMERNET Plus should focus on? So when we were trying to see that, so we gave different options, and now on the right-hand side of the slide, you can see that capacity building was one of the focus of SUMERNET Plus that was proposed by the network, closely followed by granting and policy engagement and multi-stakeholder dialogues. But you can also make out in this, more or less similar size of green color circle that you can see, where we are also willing to enhance youth and engagement of young professionals within program activities and its implementation. And this is closely followed by network development and also communications for impact, which is key for, bringing change or supporting transitions in the region. When we further wanted to understand what kind of grants our network members or, our grantees are looking at, so we saw that there is a lot of interest in terms of long-term action oriented pilots. So these would be longer term grants around 2 to 3 years. So majority of the respondents wanted us to focus on these kind of grants, with significantly less focus on other small grants and short-term rapid response grants. Also, when we were trying to understand what could be the key focus or the key sectors that SUMERNET Plus should focus on, moving on from the previous phases and also the current phase that we are in, where we are largely focusing on the water sector. So we saw that larger proportion of our network respondents still want us to continue working on water, energy, and climate nexus. And this was closely followed by climate change adaptation and mitigation. And again, the third preference was agriculture and food systems, which is again closely related to forestry, land, and environmental degradation. So these 4 sectors emerged out to be the priority in terms of sectors that SUMERNET Plus should engage with based on the survey findings. Also, we asked the network members, who do they think we should engage with more when we are, designing the next phase of the program, and who do you think we should partner with when we want to implement this program? So one of the actors which emerged throughout, different countries was Department of Water Resources, and also Ministry of Natural Resources Environment and Ministry of Agriculture, which closely aligns with the sectoral priorities that network members identified. So these could be the key partners or boundary partners whom we engage with in the next phase. Also, we saw that youth and farmer unions could be, a key stakeholder to engage with, especially in Vietnam. Coming to non-state actors, again, we saw a lot of actors identified in Vietnam, followed by Cambodia, and some of them were largely regional in nature. So we also saw that large number of non-state actors were academic institutions. So, these could be university departments, these could be research institutions set up by government agencies. But the striking point that we saw here was that Cambodian CSOs were, a big group that was recommended to be partnered with in the next phase. And we have listed some of them here as well, including My Village, Women Peacemakers, People in Need, NGO Forums, and a couple of others. In terms of regional actors, the network has identified Oxfam, WWF, IUCN, and UNEP, to name a few. So just quickly recapitulating how we arrived at this particular point in time. So as Dr. Phagde said, that we all have been working together with SSC and also discussing and brainstorming on what could be the probable themes, what are the needs of the region, who should we work with. So all those discussions have taken place in the past. And right now, or as of today, we are on step number 4, where we are, looking at the findings of the survey. We are also revising the concept note, which has been submitted. And moving from here, we would be developing the full proposal, which would then be submitted to our probable donors. So just to recapitulate on what you've heard so far, bringing in our knowledge from SUMERNET for all, that is this phase, the current phase, and also bringing in the network inputs, we find that the high-level theme somewhat remains relevant. We are still open to discussing this more on how and what specifically we should focus on. But based on the survey findings that I just shared, we have identified some of the sectors which would be of higher priorities as compared to others, but still this is subject to change. And these include water, energy, climate, agriculture, and forestry. And within the SUMERNET Plus, we are going to focus on approaches like nexus thinking, more enhancement of youth professional engagements to be more solution-oriented, and lastly but not least, using a transdisciplinary and inclusive approach towards just transition and also achieving climate resilient Mekong. And throughout the program, we plan to partner with knowledge producers, KBPIOs, policymakers, and also private sector, which we have not done in the last phase or in the current phase. So just to quickly look at how we envision SUMERNET Plus. So you can see that SUMERNET is the trunk of this tree, and through SUMERNET, we are going to achieve the overall impact, which is the climate resilience in the Mekong region, that is both equitable and sustainable. And to achieve this impact, we have identified 3 different outcomes. The first outcome is improved development policies and practices. We are, envisioning to achieve this through having some action pilots in place, and also then working towards a more comprehensive climate resilient development framework as well. Also, our second outcome would focus on empowered boundary partners. We are also focusing on building capacities of agents of change, and we are trying to do that by focusing on capacity building activities, and also bringing together different forms of knowledge, which could be traditional knowledge, indigenous knowledge, and local knowledge. So this would focus more on capacity building and synthesizing available information. Last but not the least, we are going to look at a strengthened network. How we do that, we would, invest ourselves more into looking at developing or establishing strategic partnerships with other like-minded institutions or organizations in the region. And also, we would be sharing our results more often with the regional policymakers and try and influence that. And the SUMERNET is, under SUMERNET, we are also going to get the support from SYP, which is one of the branches of SUMERNET and recently established and now flourishing. And the most recent initiative under SUMERNET, which is MTT Alliance. And I think we can talk about this more in our discussion sessions as well. Lastly, how we plan to implement the proposed program. We are looking for a 5-year full program, and we are going to achieve the previously mentioned outcomes through 5 different components. And within these components, we have different activities identified. Apologies for the smaller font size. Maybe we can share some details later for you to look at. So the 5 components that we have identified within the program are engendering solutions. These would again be more focused on the action pilots and also compiling what available knowledge we have. The second component again would focus on strengthening capacities of agents of change. Third component would be more focused on enhancing policy and communication. So this would be more about designing communication products which can lead to more frequent and relevant policy impacts in the region as well. The fourth component will be more focused on how we can leverage different networks and establish long-term partnerships with other organizations and also regional policymaking bodies as well, or frameworks. Last but not the least, there would be a robust program management and MEL process that would take care of other components and their deliveries as well. I think that's about it. Oh, okay. Maybe I can quickly also share the type of grants which we plan to, which we plan to disperse under the next phase of SUMERNET, which is SUMERNET Plus. So here we are looking at 2 different types of grants. One is institutional and others are individual, or both of them. So in terms of research and policy grants, we have 3 different types. Multi-country action pilots. These would be more longer term and would be providing comparatively higher budgetary support, followed by rapid response grants, which would last from 6 months to 12 months. And this would be, again, based on new needs, which are identified by our boundary partners or policymakers. And the third one is small seed grants, and these would be to support already existing projects or ongoing projects which have made some impact, but now we want to support them for enhanced engagement under, under this particular grant as well. This would also range from 6 to 12 months, depending upon the size of the project and who does the project want to engage with. Also to ensure that we are, making relevant policy impacts. We are also, again, trying to bring in the media research partnership grants similar to this phase so that our research is then translated to media and then picked up by policymakers as well for higher impacts. And this has worked well in the past and also during the current phase. We would also try and support early career researchers through fellowship grants. Again, this would be for 1 to 2 years, depending upon depending upon which kind of projects they are going to support with and who do they engage with within the network as well. Also to ensure that visibility of SUMERNET is enhanced within the region, we'll also try and disperse travel grants either to institutions which are partners of SUMERNET or are part of consortiums which are implementing action pilots, and also we'll support individuals who are network members to further disseminate their findings and also their approaches across the region for better visibility and better representation of SUMERNET in the region as well. So I think that's all that we have for today. And those who have not responded to this survey, you can quickly scan this QR code and respond to this survey. And we are open to get your feedbacks till 31st May. It would take hardly 10 minutes of your time. So thank you very much. And now I think I can pass to Dr. Pagde. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Reedy. Again, also just to emphasize that you still have the opportunity to contribute to how the SUMERNET Plus scope will look like. So please do take the opportunity to do the survey, and your input will be considered in the way that we are moving forward. So for now, the floor is open to participants here, but also participants online. If you have any questions that you would like to ask or any clarification points, please go ahead. Yeah, there's like actually most of the people here have been asking a lot of questions in the morning already. So we see if we have questions from online participants.
We don't have any questions.
Oh, okay. Boripat. Just like asking if anyone has questions.
Is there an online question first? I can go first if there's an online question.
No, I think the text is just asking if there's any question.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe my question is a bit broad, I guess. I'm just wondering, thank you, of course, for sharing the proposal for the SUMERNET Plus. I'm just wondering overall, I guess, and your response can be more visionary, I guess, but I'm just wondering, what does success look like for SUMERNET Plus?
So, could you repeat?
Well, I'm wondering, because you have this proposal now, and you have quite a bit of idea of what the different components are, what the different activities will be, and maybe even the output. So I'm just wondering, overall, what does the picture of success look like for SUMERNET Phase 5 or SUMERNET Plus?
I think it would be very difficult to answer, no, because we are still in discussion with SIDA, and I think so far we have received some feedback and how they would like us to move forward. I think one of the key suggestions was like having a phase approach to the Phase 5, starting with the 2 years and then maybe 5 years. I think it's still based on the discussions that we will continue to have with SIDA. I don't think even Ajahn Pikai, we don't know what is the success rate, right? We just continue to have the discussion, and hopefully there's some answer.
No, sorry, I clarify. I don't mean success in terms of KPIs or anything like that, but I mean you currently have this proposal, and so you obviously have a vision and an objective and a goal. So I'm wondering what is success if you to achieve that goal? What does it look like based on your objective and goal? or otherwise, like basically why, well, I can rephrase my question, but
I thought you were asking like, how likely are we getting the
no, no, no,
funding?
no, 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 no. Sorry. Yeah, what I mean is, and I might, maybe I asked this a bit bluntly, I apologize, but basically, why is a phase 5 needed, I guess? And as a follow-up to that is, okay, if it's needed, then what does success look like?
I think I can try to start, and then Dr. Reddy and Pikai, please also contribute. I think if we go back to the slide on the tree, ideally, if we achieve what is on top of the tree, that would be the scenario that we would like to see, which is the just and sustainable transitions. What it looked like, we also will have to see the type of proposal that we get. Are they working on what sector? Of course, at the moment, we have potentially identified 5 sectors. I think it will also depend on the type of proposals that we will get. And also, of course, like the interest of the funder like SIDA, like which of the sector that would be most relevant for them for funding. And I think we also discussed so far that although we are targeting SIDA, we are also open to see if there are other interests from other funders that would be interested in supporting this work that we are putting forward. So it's still open, I would say, with regards to what the just and sustainable transition would look like, because it will be based on the sector that we will be ended up working, and also based on the quality of the proposal that we get from our members and the interest that our member will bring forward. Yes, Pikai, Dr. Reddy, and then I think Ajahn Chantana.
Actually, I thought the same. I was asking for a tree also, because this is really our theory of change. So you could see here, we work as a network and we have the big tree, the SUMERNET. And how can we actually enhance our tree here to really give, bigger branch, more leaves, bear more fruit? So having the network, that's why we put here, strengthen the network is the outcome tree. The network should grow not only the number, but also the capacity, understanding, and also connections. And the way we work, not only kind of silo work, but thinking about work across sectors. But what really we trying to achieve, SUMERNET Plus is the top one. Climate resilient in the Mekong region that both equitable and sustainable. Because we face so much the issue and the problem with the climate, changing climate. And this make really the effort in development and also conserving different sectors even more difficult. How we can actually ensuring that what our work here will contribute to the work of boundary partners, that they actually work and they have the need, they have the responsibility. For example, the boundary partner on water sector, they have really the need for how to ensure water secure world for all people, all sector, all groups. On the other hand, for energy sector, they also have to sustain, make sure energy security. But for us, we are not really interested only one sector. We are interested to how to contribute overall to the society who will be affected from the development or benefit from any endeavor or kind of investment or any policy in practice. What, for me personally, I would say our success, it's our effort will at the end eventually help people on ground. But we need to have enabling conditions to make it happen. We have to have stronger network. We have to have the boundary partner policy actor who are equipped with the knowledge, equipped with the capacity, equipped with understanding and the willingness, attitude, and whatever to be able to join this journey with us. And we need to make sure that there's a legal policy or framework for them, policy actor, even us here, to perform our work under the framework or regulation agreement or things effectively. That's why we need all of this to contribute to the top one, the big green here, to make the Mekong is really resilient. Through the partnership, we make the big SUMERNET Plus is partnership for achieving this. So that's why I think the partnership is the key. Yeah. Okay, so stop here.
Dr. Reedy?
Nothing much, but just going back to our entire idea of coming up with solutions. Yes, we have a lot of problems, but at the end of the next phase, if we are able to come up with, so as to say, even 2 or 3 solutions, which are then, picked up by our regional agencies and implemented across countries, that would be success for us as a network, because we are bringing together different stakeholders. We are working together with policymakers. We are also trying to bring in private sector engagement to ensure that the benefits reach to the community. So we are looking at those holistic solutions, so as to say, which can be then taken up to catalyze these changes across the countries, across sectors. So I think that's what success would mean for me. So as to say, yeah. Over to you, Dr. Phagde.
Ajahn Jantada? I thought you have a question.
I just want to invite Boripat to answer this question too.
I fully agree, because he's also part of the drafting team, no? Just looking around the room if we have further questions. Boripat, would you like to answer Ajahn Jantana's question?
See, I can share a little bit, but I think that that's a little bit too far-fetched. If you look at, if you study the theory of transition done in European countries, which took 100 years, to change from one type of technology to something new, right? The ultimate game, if you want to really change in almost dimension, and climate change is go through many different dimensions of lives, you have to change the regime. Regime meaning that how things operated, how energy operated, how food operated, produce, process, consume, almost everything. But we cannot do everything. You have to specifically want to see some change, get out of business as usual. First of all, you have to identify business as usual. What are the things that you can't even know that you are in? If you cannot recognize it, you won't change it. So I think it's have to make clear. I mean, some of the research already make it clear. You have JETSI, you have this and that. So it seems that this will lead to some change. But then what are the elements? At this time, I think you have to use the knowledge. We were talking over that change, apart from realizing a business as usual that we have to get out, you have to have alternative, right? You have to have alternative. You don't use fuel. You must have something else. You don't use fertilizer. You must have something else. And then this could be practiced, here and there. But to make it coming to the regime, you need a collective. You need to compile all this niche and to make it clearer to the change at the level of cultural change. Meaning the way you think, the way you do behave is part as a way of life and culture change. The way you use women to fetch water is part of the culture, right? It has to go deeper. I mean, and the new technology should get into the society at the level that the society adopt this. But this is kind of idea, it's the idea of what's the ultimate game. But how you can change the regime, you have to analyze what are the components in the regime. There is science, policy, government, market, consumers, things that are, linked. And when you talk about fuel energy regime, you see who's operating, right? What are the market driving force. But if you change to something else, if you don't like dam used to signify human natural conqueror, right? But maybe not now, but what else then, are alternatives? So the way people think of their conquer nature must be changed as well. That's why we talk about indigenous people, right? That's why we think about the local wisdom. So I'm rambling about this. But what about this project? I think maybe at the end of, there's 2 phases, right? 2 years and 5 years. You have to be able to identify what click the actors. What type of partnerships? If you think that partnerships is really the key, you have to get people work together. Then you have to be able to see at the end what type of partnership, horizontal, vertical, or multi-sectoral. Is it possible to have multi-sectoral? Now, this is part of experimentation, because different project will deal with many different stakeholders. But you have to make them, compare them, synthesize them, to at the end of the day, 2 years project, a 2-year period or 5 years period, actor clear, some answers in terms of alternative innovation, the process to make prototype towards innovation. Are we clear? Can we have that answer? As you say that it takes, previously it take 100 years. This might take not much, because we might die first, to wait until 100 years. But there is something, as you go along, there was some indication telling you how much more time you need. But I think it's good question and good exercise to really come up with a more concrete, then you can vision different sector, food, energy, but there are some common, because it's rely on the same regime.
Thank you, Ajahn Chantan. Also, just to see if there are also questions online, but I see Lai has also a question. Any question online, or okay, maybe if it's okay, we go to the online question and then we'll come back to you. Okay.
So the question is, what indicators of climate change resilience, equitable and sustainable? I'm not sure.
I would say that really depends on the sector that we are working on, but I think like what Dr. Reddy presented at the beginning would more or less should contribute to that. I think the idea is that there need to be the alignment of the different sectors, because I think we have seen from the previous experiences with SUMERNET that most of the time people are working in silo. And so if we are talking about climate resilience with the different sector, we really need to think about like how do we align the different priority in the different sector that we work with. I think another major indicator would be the capacity to actually carry forward what we would like to see when it comes to equitable, just transitions. So the need to have this SUMERNET phase 5 is there, because there are still a lot of capacity building that are needed in the different sector that we would like to see the proposal coming in. And then I think would also be I think what Dr. Reddy presented at the beginning, the focus on the Jet Sea would be something that we need to explore further. At least this gives us some sort of contextual knowledge that we can build on in a way that we are talking about equity. But of course, these are just very general answer that I would just off the top of my head at the moment. But the idea is that, of course, like getting to equitable just transition, we need to basically focus on what we have been doing and learning, which is to work across sector, build the capacity, and then focusing on tool like JETSIs and see how it would be applied in the actual context. So it would be very difficult to give like specific answer to what would be the indicators. Actually, it will be, the simple answer would be, it will be context specific. Dr. Lai.
I don't think I have questions, but maybe one, the service you did is quite good. I think it covers all the basically very comprehensive the demand side. And in the morning, I think it was mentioned the consultation with donors as will take place. But maybe it can take place earlier at the across entire the process of drafting proposal. It's not only SIDA. I saw the Australian also is funding, and there are potential. I assume that SIDA would be interested to expand the donor because they have they have done this many years. And so maybe the survey with the donors and the potential donors is also needed. I think it should start earlier rather than later. I think when SIDA said, okay, I assume they would ask two things. One is the potential expansion of the donorship, and the other is how SEI can, you have done the project for so many years. I think the capacity building for the partners. Yeah, I think it's the same thing I said in the morning. And I think these two questions, SIDA might ask. And so I think it's needed to engage the donor side or the supply side too, because right now all the survey is basically done with the demand side. I think which is very good, needed, but I think with the supply side is also needed. By supply side, I mean potential donors, private sectors, and policymakers, and see if they have any more concrete expectations from the SUMERNET, and it will help us too.
I think the suggestions from Dr. Laila is well noted, and we actually did try to get some direction from our contact at SIDA. Of course, like he can only share so much as he know also, because we know the Swedish government also went through some restructuring. They also cut some of the funding actually because of the priorities that they are now having. We are also in a phase where SIDA itself is not also very clear in terms of the priorities that they will have for the next 5 years, for example. So our contact at SIDA is only giving us much information as he also know at the moment. But the point that you raised with regards to we should diversify maybe our funding options. We also have been discussing that. And I think it was a consensus in the last discussions that we will continue to try to stick with our long-term partner, which is SIDA, but of course, we are also seeing how we can be strategizing and looking for potential funders that is not SIDA. And I think the next one that we are working on is the government of Australia, the DFAT, and that is through the MTT. Discussions are ongoing. Of course, like I also like the idea of doing the survey with the people that would be interested in funding this, but I'm not sure whether more to be done, because we have actually had discussions with SIDA, we have discussion with DFAT. Maybe Pikai can contribute further on this.
I think that's very useful suggestions, Lai, to get really direct response from the supply side, or how to say, it depends. Sometimes we can consider we are supply side to like a knowledge production or support. But in terms of funding, in terms of need, specific need, like input to the policy process is on the others, actors. We actually already consulted SIDA when it comes to the demand on this type of program. SIDA, and as per normal, typical, they're very kind of leave it to us as their cooperation partner to define what we feel is needed for the region. As long as it's under the framework or within their regional cooperation framework, they welcome the submission. And SIDA made very clear with our initial concept note submitted to them. They say this is in line with what they in their strategy. And that's also include DFAT. DFAT also mentioned that what we are proposing, the idea here also in line with what they really actually looking forward to support. When it comes to the policy actors, we in fact, not only for this proposal, always keep communication with the MRC, LMC, and others. But we did not really make a big survey like what we do now with the network member. We really much more kind of individual or consulting or get this kind of short discussion or meetings with the partners. And they have identified, like for example, Mekong River Commission, they identify clearly that what they like us to support is how we can actually support them to more produce with the evidence jointly together with the communities and take into account the issue linking with addressing the climate resilience. This is one. And also when it comes to development, impact from the development is also really key for them. So I think the need is there. However, when it comes to go program like this, we plan to diversify, not only as top down to tell what is really need there. We still want to keep the room similar to what SUMERNET has been doing and UNMT doing, that allow the grantee or the network members to propose and to reflect what are the need for the policy actors. So we have the choice to make clear and define everything now in the designing stage, or in the way have the choice that when we do implementing or inviting applications, still leave the room for the partners to have more direct contribution or engagement with the local government and also national government or even regional government at that period to form and also to justify their submissions. So I would say when it comes to practical issues that we need to submit the proposal within 2 weeks time now, I think we just already more or less have enough information, at least from what I see at this stage, to prepare the next step of the proposal. However, if anyone, any network member, SSC member and others still haven't filled in the form of the survey, we still welcome by end of this month. We will make sure that the result from this will actually incorporate it for the preparation of the proposal. Because SUMERNET have now 700, more than 700 network member. We got currently 76, so it's very good number. But as compared to the network, it's only 10%. So if we can get 100 over 120%, it's really kind of more convincing that what we really propose here is because of the result that the network members share with us. It's not like we're making something up among ourselves here and only few members in the group here, but it's really reflecting the local need that's carried by the voice of the network members. So I would very much welcome and would be very grateful if we will get more than 100 responses to the survey. Thank you.
For the interest of time, maybe we have one final comment.
Yeah, I think Dr. Juan online
Okay, yeah.
wants to
Please
say
go ahead.
something. Dr. Juan, if you can unmute your mic and share.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
loud and clear.
Sorry.
Please go ahead.
I just want to listen and not plan to say anything, but because of the interesting of discussion, therefore I would like to contribute something. But my first question is that do we will continue discuss this proposal tomorrow or not?
I don't think so. Tomorrow we will discuss something
Different.
very interesting, different.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. So therefore, only today we discussed about the SUMERNET Plus. Okay. So I have to mention about it now. Okay. Now there are some points that relate to that. So I just first I just mentioned about the new governance strategy of SUMERNET and SSC member. We have now on the new SSC member. And I see that on the SSC member who prepared the SUMERNET for on now leave the SSC. So on as a new, when we prepare the SSC SUMERNET for on, we have a member. Now we have a 15 member, we completely new. So we have stronger and larger SSC. Congratulations for that. But an issue is that we don't have the combination. So it almost that on the people who prepare the SUMERNET for on SSC now not continue. And except like some SEI like Nyan and Chinese continue. But the concept of SUMERNET for on almost changing. So I try to mention that because I see that like my experience with SUMERNET from the beginning, 19 years, and I was a member of SUMERNET SSC almost over 10 years, and chair of SUMERNET SSC over 7 years for 3 phases. And I was the one who leading for prepare SUMERNET for on. By that time, why we focus on water insecurity? Because we think that we can mention about water security, but we see that water security is the function of government that have to cover for the own people or own society. So we want to pay attention to the vulnerable group. Therefore, we set the topic is the insecurity, to looking on the just Jesse group on the poor people who are under water insecurity. And therefore, in the proposal, we emphasize on the definition of insecurity, and we setting the theme and the mission of SUMERNET for all is for improve and reducing water insecurity, like August they introduced at the meeting. This is why we emphasize on water insecurity. Now I just see the theme that we select for the day that we have SUMERNET forum, learning forum on the 30th. We change to knowledge, what we say, from knowledge to action to building water security Mekong. It is not the focus of SUMERNET for all that we setting to focus on the water insecurity of the SUMERNET for all at the beginning. I think that is we may not remember our focus, and we get back to the traditional pathway of the interaction with policy. I think that this is a notice may lead to a review of our governance strategy. I think that we may see the SSC will maintain to the continuation, at least in one phase of the project, rather than we just change 1.5 year or 2 years and then completely change of the SSC member. Okay, so that is one of this. Now relate to the SUMERNET plus. This also relate to the idea about the proposal for next year. We expand the water insecurity to other sectors like energy, agriculture, and link with climate relation through the just sustainable transition. This may lead to an idea: do we try to look into the sustainability is a function of the government, or we may look again similar to SUMERNET for all, looking on the problem of unsustainability of the policy and development plan. Is a many programs of water, energy, agricultural project, and then we look on that. We focus on the vulnerable and the risky group who will be damaged by the program or the policy of the government. So we limit ourselves because the question of the donor could be like the worry part at the meeting today. What is the vision or the mission of the SUMERNET Plus at the end? What we will achieve? The donor may put a question: with the budget that they will fund, we cover so many sectors. At the end of the project or the program, after 2 or 5 years, what we can achieve when we cover so many sectors. So if we don't setting the clear focus, that will put a concern of the donor. So that is I propose that we may put better focus for the proposal and limit, and that could be easier to convince donor. And another question, donor, like a CIDA may put question through the discussion today and the presentation. I can see that we link too much the achievement of SUMERNET for all with the support of MTP. So the question could be, what happened to the achievement of SUMERNET for all without MTT support. Without MTT support, SUMERNET for all may not achieve much. Is that problem of funding? So we have to make sure that SUMERNET for all can be achieved. And then the MTT only improve the achievement of SUMERNET by certain sense. That will be make sure that separate and contribution and add in. So now we come to the new step of preparing the proposal, and it is a very challenging. So I stop. I think that I hope that enough. And please also make sure that when we setting a proposal and we use the new concept or something, and we want to interact with policymaker, we have to use the term or the methodology that they can understand. I think that the concept of the sustainable transition is new, and the theory is new that not many policymakers understand. And I am just thinking how we can translate in the language of Mekong country that policy can understand. That is a first challenge that we can, because in Vietnamese, I could not find the good translation word that policymaker can understand that term. Yes. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you, Dr. Huan, for the feedback. I have some reply to that, but also invite all the SSC member here to also contribute to the comments that Dr. Huan mentioned. I think I will just focus on a few things. First of all, I think it is important to emphasize that the SUMERNET Plus is not actually trying to do all the sectors that I mentioned. What Dr. Reddy has presented, it's the sectors that the surveys have shown that of interest to the members. The focus of SUMERNET 5 is actually on climate resilience and how do we transition toward that. And of course, like when we are talking about climate resilience, we have to think about which sector are we talking about. And through the survey that we've done with the members, of course, like you can see, water is still one of the sector that is mentioned. And so in the way that the proposal is framed at the moment, we are, of course, like developing this based not only on the conversations that we have been having with CEDA, with DFAT, which are also quite broad, but the confirmed interest is that they are interested for us to keep on looking into these questions of climate resilience. And we complement that by actually doing this survey that we have done with the members to understand like where or like what sectors that they are actually working with, so that we actually know what are the capabilities of the members when we actually have the proposal that is going to be coming out, and the call for proposals that will be coming out after potentially this proposal is getting funding. I think just wanted to clarify that it's not set in stone at the moment, like these are the 5 sectors that the SUMERNET Plus will be working on. It is potentially the sectors that have been expressed by our members as the areas that they would be interested to look into when it comes to the questions of climate resilience. And the other point that we have been discussed a lot, which is the MTT and SUMERNET. I think I also have just like a private discussion with PKI on how to communicate on this. I think maybe we will say a bit more tomorrow on how these 2 activities are complementary, and that like one is doing one thing that the other is not fully doing, but at the end of the day, they are actually complementary. And the goal is actually sustainable Mekong. Maybe we have to think about how do we phrase our communication around these two projects so that it's clearer to the audience. I think also the other point that I would like to respond to would be that, yes, of course, like we are always having to consider like how the technicalities of the terms that we are working on, for example, like just transition, sustainable, even climate resilient would be translated into our local language. I also have no doubt that the word water insecurity is not easily translatable. I think we always have to find a way on how do we communicate on all of these like technical jargons in different contexts that we are working on. I think in one last point, it is actually in the review, of course, we focus more on like what has been the achievement of SUMERNET for all in a way that we are thinking about the phase 5, but that doesn't mean that the lessons that have been drawn is not actually coming from the previous phases. It's just that because there is a train of thoughts when it comes to all of these different phases that we have seen that basically follow the modalities that we have seen that work, for example, like the bottom-up approach, the work that we have to do with the boundary partners, and also the most importantly, the thinking about what the member themselves would be doing, because the strength of the SUMERNET is actually the members. So even if we have like a well-funded idea, but if the members do not have interest or capability to do the research, then what's the point? So that's why it is important in this process of doing the proposal that we actually listen to what the members are interested in, not only what the donors are interested in. We have confirmed that the donor was interested in climate. And so we have to then listen to what are the interests and capabilities of the members when it comes to this topic of climate. And this is translated into what are the areas that people are interested in. And they have informed us that these would be the top 5 areas. And so we also don't know when we call for proposal, we might just get all the proposal on water, then we just continue to work on water. But that's just the reality of like the members that we have. And of course, like lastly, it would be great if we have like all the members just continue to stay in the SEC. But of course, like you all have different commitments. You also decided to step away. But of course, like we hopefully continue to interact. For example, like this meeting is a good example of how we, of course, very appreciate all the input that Dr. Huan put forward. And as the fruit of thought, I would say, in the way that we put together the work moving forward. Pikai or Ajahn Jantana or others would like to contribute. Please go ahead, yes.
I just want to, it's not the question, but to share with you that last month I have a chance to go to Australia with the Mekong Australia partnership, and I found that the DFAS from Australia, they have a very strong, very big strategy related to the climate change resilience in the Mekong region. So I think that's the proposal. This proposal is a very like a fit to the DFAS in Australia. So here we can submit in both in SIDA and DFAS Australia, and it will be, let's see whether maybe two funders can co-fund in the program. That will be very, very good. So just share with you some, have no question or.
No, I agree. Like ideally, if that happened, that would be great. Like if we have like different donors willing to put money into the pot, and then we would be able to do more. So if that's the case, that would be great. And hopefully like the Secretariat will have the capacity to absorb the funding if there are different funding that are coming in.
And another thing, I know that's tomorrow. Also the ambassador, Australia ambassador, and also the DFAS representative also will come. So I think it's a good opportunity to talk a little bit about this proposal. Yes.
Okay, so maybe respond to Madam Long first. So tomorrow, there will be the first secretary of both embassies to come. In fact, DFAT is very keen to talk with the Australian embassy for this more co-support to SUMERNET. So so they still try to figure out the schedule for meeting because they would like to talk with more the top boss, you know, beyond Ellen, DFAT want to talk with boss of Ellen also. So they're still finding the slot to speak. But in fact, I think during this 2 days, tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, there might be some opportunity for us to have informal talk with 2 donors. We actually had one time last time we also had a talk. So in general, they're supportive, but you know, they have some discussion and also the link and how they could align the program well. To be honest, for example, CDAS is open for cooperation, including with China, but DFAT, on the other hand, have more strict regulation on this. So there's some certain element that the donors have to discuss together. That would be benefiting to us because we are proposing the program and we want to work with all countries without any exception. So how we can still pursue on the other hand, so not refrain opportunity for us to get the support from different development partners, including donors. So I'm quite optimistic on this. Linking to Dr. Huan's suggestion regarding to the SUMERNET steering committees, the idea for us to have every 3 years elections because to have opportunity for the network members to be in the leading positions of the network. So in the past, we have not many members, and now we expand even more than 700 network member by being in the leading position. So I feel there will be a lot of opportunity for us to learn from the new leadership. At the same time, the steering committee themselves would really be better understand on how the network is running and benefiting to the individual SSC and also their organizations. So there's really a trade-off between having the SSC member in the position like 10 or more than 10 years or take turn. But for programmatic wise, of course, having more SSC member in the position for many years is easier for Secretariat, to be honest. But I would say this is some things that we could really work along the line and seek consultation with SSC member and the network members on how you want to enhance the governance of the network. So in fact, by end of this current phase, we are committed, obligated to really assess the current governance structures, and including this type of questions, the term of SSC or the open election or nomination. This is something we will actually continue working on this and addressing and making sure that we are really on top of the things. And so thank you very much for all suggestions. I think Dr. Huan, he pointed out maybe many issues. I think we need to take time to work on the proposal. But one thing I want to clarify that I probably want to say I disagree on the statement that we trying to present that if without MTT, SUMERNET for all will not be successful. So it's not like that, because SUMERNET for all has been designed since 2018 to be really the program that can fulfill our commitment. We actually plan and now ending the program, and our success is very much relying on the success of the research project and partner that implementing on ground. So they are working towards that and we are helping towards that. But what I think the MTT coming in will enhance more learning beyond the individual project is really benefiting to the network, because what we hope is not only that we deliver SUMERNET for all successfully, but how we can carry on making sure whatever delivered by SUMERNET for all will be better really integrated into policy process beyond what SUMERNET for all has been already envisioned at the beginning. So by having this more knowledge-based policy influencing organization or KPBIO engaging and interacting with the current grantee or the project on whatever SUMERNET for us will be delivered. Maybe there will be more opportunity for us to be more influential, not only to one individual policy actor, but maybe other actors beyond what have been designed in current individual project or current program of the SUMERNET for all. So I'm very optimistic and really feel MTT will come and to help us do better or accelerating our current effort in informing the policy to only SUMERNET and funded by SIDA individually. So, but this will not be successful without everyone effort, and Dr. Pagde very right. Even if we get a lot of funding, but if we don't have really people working on forefront on ground, this program will not be successful, and we will not have enough to really justify whatever the value of money that all public goods, like people paying the tax, will justify. Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, I'll probably stop there.
Think we are really way over time. So of course, like we can continue to have the conversations. This is not the last time to have the discussions. And also just to emphasize that we are still in the discussion phase with our potential donor or donors. So we will continue to interact and discuss with everyone. So just to say that this is not the last opportunity, and please continue to let us know if you do have further suggestions as we move further with the proposal. With that, I think we can close this section and then just hand it back to Agus.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pagde, Dr. Ridi, and all the SSC and also the network members for the interesting discussion. I know it's very, what do you call it, strategic issue for us, SUMERNET. So that's why we spend a lot of time actually discussing over it, brainstorming. So I would appreciate that if any network members have not yet contribute inputs to the survey, please do so, as we will still, draw from your insights, from your suggestion. We'll certainly consider your suggestion together with the others' inputs as well. So yeah, we are way over time, but I think it's worth it discussion. But now I would like to quickly transfer this next session to Dr. Chayanis for wrap up and closing this network meeting.
Okay, so on behalf of the SUMERNET team here, representing the SSC members and also Secretariat, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all network members joining this meeting, especially that we have SSC here joining this since morning and until now. So we could see that the atmosphere and the way we really discuss is very open, because I feel very nice about this, because we really feel that people care about the network and really would like to make sure that their idea or contribution would be really taking on and make sure that this is really something benefiting not only one individual activity project, but also long-term for the network. And it is really the beauty of us being here together. And I saw Dr. Huan, in fact, your here is already demonstrating that how care or how important is SUMERNET is. So Dr. Huan has been really one of important founding member of the SUMERNET. I think he is considered for me as a father of SUMERNET. And we have Dr. Lai Lai here. Dr. Lai Lai is for me is a mother of the SUMERNET. You know, I'm not very young anymore, but I don't feel myself. I still really one of the family, maybe working on this, and many of us here working as a member in a family. And it's very nice to see both father and mothers present in this meeting. And tomorrow we will have Dr. Huan present on site, right? Dr. Huan, where are you? Are you now in Bangkok? Okay. So in any case, we will meet all together tomorrow, not only a few of us here or 20 or 30 people, I think many person leaving the network meeting because they're taking the flight coming tonight. So tomorrow we expected about 120 members. So it's really exciting moment that we have all family member traveling and really working, combating with all challenge that we have in our SUMERNET in our Mekong region. So tomorrow is an opportunity for us to really come to share what we have learned. And I would say today we have learned a lot already, what we really achieved together as a network. And we expanding in terms of the number. But what I feel proud most is really more in terms of the quality and also deep, how much in depth that we really pursue and really investigate in terms of our work and our interaction. So you can see what are the current progress we expanding, and we have more network member to join us, not only senior expert, we have young people, we have, And then at the same time, we have the joint vision together, how SUMERNET in coming 5 years should look like. And I think with collective effort and your contribution to the online survey, to all consultations, and I would say, I want to emphasize that this actually consultation is already started since 2022. Since we have the solo network member meetings, and then we got information. And this is really evolutions of the current design of SUMERNET Plus. For simplicities, it would be better for us to have narrower focus, to be honest. But because we really care about the voices of the network members, and current network member, and especially strong leadership of SSC, is really hinting in every time of meeting that we should really make it more flexible for the network member to contribute to different sectors under the theme of partnership for climate resilience of the Mekong. That's why I think we probably need to maintain this kind of wide coverage, even we may or may not be able to really demonstrate all sectors, corporations, or impact at the same level. But I think this is something for us to continue learning and also see what are the needs there. And that probably will be reflected in future submissions to the program for consideration, because that will show the area where the network member have the capacity, identify the need and the capacities to deliver and contribute as those who will bring the impacts to be materialized. So with this, I think we have a lot of big assignment for us, Secretariat here and SSC member, how to take on all useful inputs into more concrete revision or preparation of the proposal in coming weeks. But with your trust, we are very grateful that in the future we will have opportunity to update you on the process of preparation and also consultation with the donors in coming months. So yeah, finally, I would like to thank you everyone for joining until now, and not to delay this process further. So we will very much looking forward to meet everyone. Hopefully whoever will be on site tomorrow. We will have the partner meetings tomorrow, and to discuss about what we have learned from supporting more than 230 grantees, and also what we have learned with the work of past 4 or 5 years. And in the afternoon, we'll talk about the MTT Alliance and others. And in the evening, we will have the very nice evening with the awarding ceremony for young professionals, the fellows, and also SUMERNET young professionals. And the last day on, not last day, on the following day will be policy forum, research to policy forum. So everyone are invited to join either online or on site. So I think that will be really exciting for us to really have more interaction and discussion on this in the future. So with this, I stop here and would like to thank everyone for joining, and hopefully everyone will have good evening and see you, many of us here tomorrow at Skyview. Thank you and have a nice day and bye bye.